Hello everyone and welcome to another MDNA tutorial. My name is Dan Ramirez and today I'm going to show you how to create a puzzle activity using drag and drop interaction. So first thing you'll need to do is to crop the image that you're going to use for your puzzle. And if you're familiar with Adobe Suite, you can use either Illustrator or Photoshop to crop the image as you please. So this is the image I'm going to use for my puzzle. And if you're interested in knowing how to do so, you can check our blog and look for a blog called How to Crop an Image in Illustrator for your e-learning course. Once you've have your image cropped, we're here now in Captivate, and as you can see, we already have our images cropped. Here in my slide 3, I already have my images cropped. And if you notice, I also have a puzzle layout. And this is for learners to know where the pieces of the puzzle should go. Right. So as you can see, the images are all spread out in this slide. And the next step to do is to click the interaction panel and actually no. Before starting doing the interaction, you need to create smart shapes. So these smart shapes are going to be the target for our draggable images, so they have a place to go. And the best thing to do is to create the smart shapes. As you can see, I don't have a fill or a border, but if you need to do that, you can completely do it as well. So if you want to stroke so you can know where your smart shapes are, you can totally do it. I personally prefer to leave it with no stroke and no fill. But you need to make sure the smart shapes are in the middle of the layout of that specific piece of the puzzle. Does that make sense? So for example, here I have my smart shape that is specifically in the middle of this specific shape. Now, once you've done that, all you need to do is to click in the interaction panel, that you can find it right here, and click drag and drop. Within this interaction, there are 3 steps we need to follow in order to create our drag and drop interaction. So the first one is to set up our draggable objects, like so. And it's going to be really easy for you to know your draggable objects because they're all going to be highlighted in green, as you can see right here. And all you need to do is to click on them, and Captivate is going to automatically know that these are our draggable objects. Now, what happens if, for example, I click by accident on my targetable object? Well, as you can see, there's a minus sign here, and all you need to do is to click it, and it's gonna deselect it. All right, so that's our step number 1 to do this drag and drop interaction. We have to click next now. Like, just make sure you have selected all your draggable objects. Now, our second step is to define our targets, which in this case are my invisible, my smart shapes. Again, it's going to be really easy for you to identify them because they're going to be highlighted in blue, as you can see right here. And again, you just need to make sure they're all selected here. See, I clicked here by accident. I just need to click the minus sign and make sure you're clicking all your target objects. All right, now that I know for a fact that I have all my targetable objects highlighted and selected, we are only missing step 3. And before we go into step 3, something that is really important for you to know and to remember is that the matchable objects or the target objects can't be on top of each other. So they all need to have a space in between them and around them. As you can see, none of my objects are on top of each other. They are all in their separate space, so that Captivate can identify them as individual objects, and therefore you can match your draggable objects to their corresponding shape. So this is really important for you to know, and that's why I mentioned before that you need to make sure your smart shapes are in the middle of that specific piece of the puzzle. All right, so we're going to step number 3, and this is the end of the interaction. All we need to do is to match them. So as you can see in our draggable images, there are like small arrows, and all you need to do is to click on them, keep it pressed, and as you move, you'll see an arrow coming out of the image. And that particular arrow is the one that will let you match the object to its corresponding shape. So in this case, I'm going to match this particular image to its corresponding space and smart shape, like so. So I'm going to do this real quick, and I'll see you in a bit. Okay, now that we've finished matching our draggable objects to our target objects, we just then need to click finish. And that's it. Now, as you can see, I already have all my draggable objects to its corresponding target. And as you can see, now we have a new panel, drag and drop panel. And in there, we will go to actions. And on success, we're going to go to next slide. So my next slide is this one. So only if our learner did the puzzle correctly, they're going to be able to go to the next slide. You can also have a failure and success caption. In this case, I'm not going to use it because it's going to be very evident when the learners do their puzzle correctly or if they don't. But if you want to, you just need to check these boxes and create your own success and failure caption. And you also have the number of attempts. You can have either 1, 2, 3, 5, how many attempts you want your learners to have, or in this case, I have infinite attempts. Then in reporting, which is down here, we will check include in quiz, and then we're going to add the points you want your drag and drop interaction have. So in this case, I'm just going to leave it at 10 points. And we are going to check the bugs report answers, which will report to your LMS. So let's test it. Remember, if we do this correctly, if I do my puzzle correctly, then I'm going to go to next slide. Oh, and before we test it, there's something really important for you to know. It's the anchor point. So you will need to anchor all of your matchable objects. And the way you do so is you go to drag and drop panel, then go to format. And here there's a window or there's let's call it a window that it's called snap behavior. So this, what it's gonna do is that we're gonna anchor the image to its corresponding smart shape. So like here, if as you can see, my smart shape is right at the border of the puzzle piece. So I'm gonna anchor it on the left top position. And we're gonna do that with every single smart shape. And this is so that the puzzle piece stays in its corresponding smart shape. So that's something really important for you to know. If not, it's possible, if you don't do this step, it's possible that once you move your puzzle piece into the position, it's possible it's gonna move automatically to another position because it's not anchored. So that's really important for you to know. And now the only thing we need to do now is to test it. So let's do it. Okay, now all we need to do is to do our puzzle. And see how my puzzle piece stays in its corresponding target. So that's why it's really important for you to have your anchor point. But let's do this real quick. Alright guys, it's the moment of truth. I'm just missing one piece of the puzzle. Let's see if I do it correctly. Submit. There we go. Congratulations, you made it. Perfect. That's it, guys. Now you know how to create a puzzle using the drag and drop interaction. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to check out our blog for more tutorials. See you next time, guys. Bye!